Hello everyone! We have entered the coldest time of year. Not only did we get snow, but the temperatures dropped so low last night that everything froze. It was minus 12 degrees during the night, so when the most incredible morning sun woke me up the next day, I just had to storm out of the house and make my way to the closest water. Our little lake, which is actually a river that widens here, was completely frozen over. I had the most special morning on the frozen water all to myself. There's something so scary as well as magical about walking over the icy surface of a body of water that's usually so full of movement. I can't believe how 4 months ago we still went swimming in the evenings and mornings or spent our days on the water in a little boat, lying in the sun. It seems like a completely different world today. This moment of golden sun in frosty air fueled my entire week. January and February are the hardest months for me with the lack of sunshine and the small window of light we have. I fall into a bit of a hole every year, and this morning was everything that I needed. As I'm preparing to move in a few months, I realized how many empty jars I had just laying around my apartment. I had a lot of beeswax from the holidays and thought that making another batch of homemade candles was the perfect Sunday project. I will celebrate my birthday this week, and I think lining the table with these candles will be just so beautiful. I ended up adding dried flowers from my balcony to some of them, as well as a few drops of orange oil for the most delicious scent later on. With the plan of moving overseas, which means a lot of downsizing and letting go of 85% we own, I have found myself thinking a lot about possessions and meaning. It can be difficult to simplify when we attach emotion to everything we own. But the truth is that things are just things. They are meant to be used, cared for and sourced responsibly, but not to be loved. I don't love my table. I love the memories of laughter, friendship, late dinner night conversations, and game of Yahtzee or Easter egg painting with the people I love most that happened on this table. But selling the table or gifting it to someone else does not erase those moments. I don't love my kitchen. I love the work my partner put into building it and the hours I spent in there cooking and baking for the people I care about. I don't need to hold on to things so tightly. I believe that attaching too much emotion to our possessions will only slow us down in the long run. So the next few weeks I will be doing a lot of decluttering, simplifying, and downsizing to lighten the load. We have one small van to fill and everything else has to go. Because the forest's little creatures have to endure the cold just as much as we do, I keep my bird feeders full and currently find so much joy every single day in watching all kinds of small birds come to my balcony to steal a seed or two. I love watching them when working on some art. I usually paint with watercolor, but I have started falling in love with oil paints in the last week. This is a little landscape sketch I did to start painting canvases again after many months of just watercolor paper illustrations. I've been working hard on designing greeting cards to hopefully get stocked in stores this year. My little shop is now open, so you can browse a lot of greeting cards if you're interested, of course. I currently have a 5-card bundle available at a small discounted rate for whatever birthday parties, Valentine's dates, or Easter celebrations might come your way. I also discovered a new sourdough trick. It's not really a trick, it's common knowledge, but it's the first time I did this. This loaf is probably the most delicious bread I have ever baked because I bought spelt seeds and ground them into flour in my blender, and I actually could not believe the difference in taste. I highly recommend this extra step if you have the time to do it. It turned out absolutely wonderful. The crust was so amazing. Sadly, it doesn't look as pretty as I wanted it to because my dishwasher was running, so I couldn't film because my whole kitchen shakes a little bit. So then the dough lost its shape while I was waiting to be able to film the process of baking it. But it still turned out amazing, and I'm so in love with learning more about sourdough and cooking and making all sorts of fermented things, and it's a big goal of mine to have a garden one day and even grow my own food and learn more about sustainable farming and buying locally, and there's so many dreams I have, so I love being in the kitchen, and this little trick has definitely improved my very, very frosty winter week. Here's electric. I can feel it's just, I think it's this jumper. Yeah. Anyway. Hi guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm so happy that you're here. I just wanted to jump on and say hello and tell you a bit more about my week. I have had a wonderful week. I spent it mostly at home because it was so cold and snowy and icy to a point where I didn't even like to walk into town or to the grocery store because it was slippery. And I'm a young person, I was already scared of slipping, which I did once on New Year's Eve, so I was very wary. But today the sun came out and it's a beautiful day. It is just gorgeous outside. The birds have been very loud and eating a lot and making a huge mess on my balcony. I kid you not, the entire floor of my balcony is just covered with the seeds from the birdhouse I showed you in last week's video, but I love it and I love watching them. It brings me so much joy. I've started a new nighttime ritual where I used to get up early in the mornings and write my morning pages in my journal every day. If you know The Artist's Way, you might be familiar, but it's 3 whole pages of writing every day, first thing in the morning, and I love it when I'm in the flow of this practice. But the last months I have not been writing at all. Seriously, not at all. It's been kind of frustrating because I love writing, but I just haven't been able to find the time because I have just loaded up with so many projects, creative projects, life projects, moving and new business ideas, this channel, so many things, and I just haven't been writing. So lately I started writing last thing before I sleep, and that has been so beautiful. I love it so much. It is so calming, and the energy of writing at night versus in the morning I feel like is completely different. It's not so much about motivating myself. It gives me more room to be very real and vulnerable. I don't know, it feels different. So if you are struggling with the same thing, or you want to pick up writing and you're like, oh my gosh, my days are so full, my mornings already are piled up with chores and to-dos, then maybe this would help you as well, because it's definitely helping me a lot. Other than working on my greeting cards right now, which I'm very happy with the cards I have, and I'm going to start reaching out to shops now to hopefully get stocked in 2026, which is such a big dream of mine. I'm also working a lot on my illustration portfolio because I'd love to be hireable as an illustrator for children's books and stuff like that. But I've also been working a lot on art, like real paintings, because I'm falling in love, and I'm so happy that I'm finally making art again, because I used to love painting so much. I was obsessed with painting when I was younger, even until my teenage years, and then I just chose a different career path. I did something completely different for years now, and going back into art feels, oh my goodness, it just feels like breathing again. It sounds so cheesy, I know, I'm sorry, but I really mean it. I think a big part of me feeling quite depressed for the last years and just never really present, never really fulfilled, was just because I withheld this part of my life from myself. So it feels so good, so good to paint, even though I have so much to learn and I'm nowhere near as close to the art I want to be able to make. But I know I'll get there eventually, and I have so much time, and it's not a race, and it's not about the final product, it is about the entire journey to get to there. So that's what I'm telling myself, and I'm trying to be regular and every single day paint a little bit, learn a little bit. So that's been so much fun. But to cut myself short here before I keep talking on and on and on, I am so grateful for your time watching these videos. I am so excited for the next months because I'll be moving really soon to the Irish countryside, overseas. I'm currently in Germany, so that's gonna be such a big chapter again, and I'm so happy to have a channel where I can share the entire process of whatever my life is going to look like in half a year or in a year. So thank you for being part of it, and I wish you the most beautiful day wherever you are, whatever time zone you're in. Please let me know, because I would love to know from where you're watching this. And until next week, I'm sending you all my love, and I'll see you soon.